Gary Vaynerchuk is an entrepreneur, investor, one of the most sought after speakers alive, and a 4 times New York Times best-selling author. He went from being born in the Soviet Union, moving to America, and living with 8 family members in a studio apartment, to now building a net worth of over $160 million. And today we're gonna look at my take on his top 10 rules for success. Need motivation?
Watch a top 10 with Believe Nation.
Top 10, I got a top 10. Got my motivation high for my top 10. Gotta learn from the wise women and men. All my life, like na 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 na. For my top 10, top 10, na 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 na. This one's for my top 10.
Hey, it's Carmichael, and chances are you are the most ambitious person in your circle, but you know you're capable of more, and you get that push by surrounding yourself with the best. So today, let's learn from one of the best, Gary Vaynerchuk, and my take on his top 10 rules for success. Enjoy. Okay, let's kick it off with rule number 1. Get excuses out of your mouth.
I have definitely suffocated excuses better than a lot of people, which is really the biggest reason so many people who are listening right now are not winning. They are surrounded by people that are willing to accept their excuses on one very interesting insight. It's because those people don't give a f***. Your friends and your family are letting you get away with your excuses because they don't care. I weirdly don't know you and I care, and let me tell you how to fix this. Get your f***ing excuses out of your mouth.
Rule number 2, be different.
What's super interesting is, and those people that are CFOs and CEOs and COOs, they think that's the magic. I always laugh at them. I'm like, you're a commodity.
Right.
There's millions of you. That's math. That's easy to understand. I always say, if you want to be an anomaly, you have to act like one. Like, people want all these special things to happen, but then they're acting like everybody else. And that gets into the Saturdays in your 20s, like, or just like taking risks or things of that nature. Like, I totally agree with you. I think about it as, you know that picture where like it looks like 2 people kissing or it looks like a glass of champagne? Like, I just basically think at this point in my business life, the world sees the glass of champagne and I see the 2 people kissing. Like, I just can see it. Like, I know what's coming.
Rule number 3, know what makes you happy.
I think that people need to try to be self-aware about what makes them happy and doesn't make them happy. Right now, I view social media as a mirror. I think what people are putting out is an incredible indicator of what's inside of them. So right now there's a lot of political anxiety. There's a lot of ideological anxiety. And so what we're seeing is a lot of judgment. You know, I think, you know, the early days, especially when you and I were on it, like there was a lot of Nirvana early users. It was very soft. I think you are seeing a different version of that today. But that is, you know, getting off of social is no different than stop watching CNN or Fox every night or reading the Journal or the Times. We consume as animals. And I think if one feels overwhelmed, they should stop consuming. But I don't put social media consumption in a very different place than the films and music and books that one reads. Like, the collective replies of people's angst is no different than Kurt Cobain's singular angst, other than it's a collective versus a singular. And so I think it's great. And like when people are like, oh, like what are you gonna think about that? I'm like, I don't care about social media. I really don't. I care about humans communicating with each other. I'm fascinated by communication, and I'm fascinated that we now have a collective ability to communicate at a scale that we've never seen before. And I think right now people are focusing on the downside of that, and I think we're forgetting the upside of it. There's so much love and greatness going on every day. I think humans find what they're looking for. If you're signing into Twitter to find a fight, or to find somebody to fight with, or to see some negativity, you're gonna find it. I think if you go to Twitter or Instagram to find happiness and positivity, it's there at scale.
Rule number 4, believe in karma.
That's just, karma is practical. I love how people think karma is like this weird thing. Doing good for other people is a good strategy. Like, you know, I've been like trying to, I'm like, why does this thing even exist? It's actually the most common sense thing of all time. Why does karma seem weird? The f is karma? Like, wait a minute. So you're telling me like, if you do lots of good things, that weirdly good things happen to you? Yeah, that seems like common sense.
Also, if you want to have more confidence, self-love, and motivation, check out my 254 series. They're free. The links to join are in the description below.
I really think mindset is everything. And so you've got to really decide, are you going to be positive about things or negative about things? There's plenty of things that I'm not good at. I love self-awareness. It's kept me so happy. Like, I'm not upset at myself that I'm selfish in certain areas. There is way too much fodder brought to the idea. Uber was Magic Cab 3 years earlier. Uber is not an idea. Uber existed. It's called Magic Cab. But the guys that executed it sucked. So they lost.
Rule number 5, don't doubt yourself.
When are the moments that you doubt yourself the most? Because I know you're extremely confident in yourself, but are there moments, and what are they, and how do you get through it when you have that doubt in anything you're doing? One
of the weird things I do is I'm in a funny place now where I'm not putting myself in a place where I doubt myself. And so I always wonder, is that like not challenging myself, or is that like staying in my lane? But like, I will tell you, like the only thing I think about being, like when you ask me like what's scary, here's reading in public is scary.
It's terrifying.
Because I can't read.
Yeah.
Even like the last time I did the Ask Gary V book, like for the audiobook.
You just kind of riffed.
Well, you know what's funny? I always do that.
Yeah.
Because I get bored, because that's why I got F's. So I'm like, I don't want to read my own, like, I'm like, yes, I know what's in here. Like, okay, That's why people buy the book and the audiobook, because they're like basically not even the same.
Yeah.
It was fun actually for me, because I'm like, I'm a better reader than I've gotten, I think I've been forced to read so much over the last 10 years as we became a computer-based, email-based, text-based world. But I don't like to, like I would be, if you were like, hey, read my notes here right now to the podcast, I'd be like, you could literally ask me to get naked. I'm like, all right, well, but if you said read this right now
terrifying.
verbatim, I'm like, because I don't like that. But man, it's things like, like throw me in a pit of snakes. I'm like, I don't want that.
Right.
Like jump off this building, that.
But there's nothing in business that makes you doubt yourself. Is there a situation that you could see, like you've spoken in front of 50,000 people? That's not scary.
At this point in my career, I've been in the room with everybody. And that means I have not been in a room with a ton of people, but like every
all the big leaders, every billionaire, every CEO.
That's right. I'm of the cloth.
Yeah.
I belong.
You're confident too, yeah.
I'll be very frank with you, I think I'm better. I think when it's all said and done, I win this generation. I think Elon and Zucks and the Uber guys, I think a ton of people make more money. I'm convinced now that nobody will make more money and help people make more money than me in this generation. I will win.
In that game, yeah.
In the game that I like, which is winning personally and winning helping other people. I don't think I'm gonna be touched. I think I will be the guy. I think they will go back and be like, look, here were the people that were entrepreneurs during a time when entrepreneurship was cool, and here are all the different things. Elon invented the craziest shit. And Mark Zuckerberg created the greatest, and Bezos created the best companies and made the most money. And then Gary did the best job of making the most money, and he bought the jets, and that became symbolic, but he also created millions of 100,000 heirs and millionaires. That's what Crush It's about. Yeah, and that's why Crushing It's about. I think that's really cool. I spend an enormous amount of time trying to make my audience awesome out of the selfishness of the legacy, not to get them into a top of the funnel to buy my book or my sneaker.
Right.
I ask for it, but I have zero vulnerability or expectation.
Rule number 6, focus on subtle little things.
Talk to me about how your mom played into that, because
a ton.
So I know your mom, you've credited her with really helping to build your self-esteem, but you're also a huge believer in like, don't fool yourself, don't tell yourself you're good at something you're not. So how did she make you feel so good about yourself?
She walked,
struggling.
that's a great, you're doing a good job here.
Thank you, sir.
It's a very good way to ask it, because the truth is, she strategically used bullshit and real. What I think, in hindsight, she did was she overemphasized things that were subjective or good. So she really, I'll never forget this. I opened the door for a woman in McDonald's in Edison, New Jersey, literally, like when I was 8. Just, we were both walking, we were a little ahead, and I opened it and let her walk through. If I tell you that my mom basically treated that event like I won the Nobel Peace Prize for like 3 weeks. But think about how smart that is. Like, think about how reinforcing that played out. Played out so much that one of the most interesting comments in the 250 blogs that I've done was I got an email from somebody who said, hey Gary V, this comes like, hey, at first I thought like, and then I got into it a little bit and I was watching this vlog, and then the other day you nailed it home. And I'm like, I'm reading, I'm like, I can't wait to see what I did. He's like, you went into the elevator and you let all your employees go first. And it's just so interesting, right? These subtle little things, it's important, it's so fascinating what matters to people. And I get it, like I actually think that's right, but it's so weaving into me at this point, I don't recognize that. That's what she did well. She made big deals out of the things that were tried and true. And then when I got D's and F's, she punished me. Even though she knew I didn't need school, in her heart, she made me know that there was accountability for things. So I would lose television and video game and friends privileges it would always be for a month. She'd break down somewhere around day 14, 13. My sister would tattle on me when I would sneak in TV. It was a sitcom in itself, the three of us. She really made me feel special, man. She really did it right. She really, really, really pounded home my EQ, my kindness. I've done it with Xander too. He went to the playground when he was 2. We were at the playground. A little 3-year-old kid falls and skids his knee, and he walked over and was like, "Are you okay?" And I made that like a 2-week thing, right? Like empathy, right? And so she just really did a good job of making me feel good about the things that were around my kindness and my support of my sister and my leadership skills of my friends, and taking I took a bullet once for something my friend did in the neighborhood, and she thought that was a good thing. And just kind of those personality traits that I think, if all of us, everybody watching, wrote down like personality traits that we admire, anytime I showed any of those actions, she drove them home. And I think modern day parents and most parents do not do that. I think they focus on dumb shit like grades, because they are insecure and they want to put the bumper sticker that their kid went to, Stanford. Like, it's real f***ed up when you really think about what's actually happening. So much of it is misery loves company, or people reflecting of what's inside of them.
Rule number 7, choose the right strategy.
So that's my punchline, which is like, good behavior is in perpetuity. I do believe in the modern internet to create awareness for something you want, whether that's to raise money for a nonprofit or to sell glasses. I believe the volume of content is, because then you're able to contextualize it to your audience, is absolutely the leverage of the current state of consumer consumption. One's capability, financially, energy-wise, creatively, but it's no different than saying run really fast. If you can run really, really fast, faster than anybody, you can win an Olympic gold medal and then make $25 million a year in sponsorship if that's what you choose, or live in a cave and say, I won a gold medal. I'm speaking to what I genuinely believe is the right strategy. How one interprets that, is really up to them.
Rule number 8, know your craft.
Once in a blue moon, I come up with very tangible advice. So I've been talking a lot about leaving comments in people's Instagram posts, but not like follow me or like just to game it. No, take the out. You want to grow everyone's like, how do I grow? I'm like, there's a way. It's called the thank you economy. Quietly go in like nice and calmly. Like if you're a photographer, go to Nick's page. He's got legit shit. He takes a photo of some pretty person, boy or girl. He's very good at that, in some beautiful setting, and like look at it and then leave a comment that's meaningful, like, hey Nick, are you using this filter, or I noticed what you did with the light there, like something that means something, not like cool or lit. Like you're not leaving the comment for the sake of leaving the comment. You're taking the actual hour and a half to like look, add something of value. You do that on 90 different, the way I came up with it was leave your 2 cents, in a comment, leaving your 2 cents, go take 9 hashtags that are relevant to your business, and then go to 10 accounts or 10 hashtags, top 9. It used to be the top now,
right.
Now it's just random 9.
Yeah.
So pick 10 hashtags, the random 9, that's 90, leave 2 cents. Now you've left $1.80 for the day.
Yeah.
Watching the last 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks of people like, because it's funny, right? People are buying likes and comments. People are like trying to do dumb shit, give away iPads or Yeezys or Off-Whites to get followers, or you can actually work for an hour,
add value,
know your craft, and act like Nick. I'm actually looking at it like, Do you know what would happen, because he actually knows his craft, if he actually spent 3 hours a day? 3 hours is a lot of time.
It's a lot of time,
And if he gave a fuck, and I don't think he should or shouldn't,
Right.
but if he gave a fuck, the fact that if he spent 3 hours looking at 20 hashtags in photography because he's crafted and skilled and gifted, and went to those people's photos and said shit that I would never understand. I'd just be like, nice thong, or like nice muscles, or like cool coconuts. Like, but if he said like, oh shit, I see what you did there off the reflection horizon, I don't, you know.
Right.
Well, that matters, because like people see that you're leaving something meaningful, right?
Rule number 9, chase attention.
For me, stumbling into the talent, the natural talent, that very nice bio, what I realized from having, and this might sound very interesting, and it took me a long time to realize it, the reason I had 8 lemonade stands, and I did, the reason I had 8 lemonade stands as a child, which is absurd and very unique, is on a stage like this, actually 5 years ago, I'm giving the story, I used to give my bio more, and I actually remembered for the first time, why was I doing that? Because I was starting to get a little bit upset with myself. Was I lazy and just wanted my friends to work? But what I was actually doing as a 6-year-old kid, as a 6-year-old child, I was walking. The 1980s in America was much more safe. So I was walking about in the neighborhood, and I was looking at the cars driving and trying to figure out where to put my lemonade stand sign, on which tree or which post of a sign. And basically 37 years later, right here, right now, I'm still doing the same thing. I've been chasing the attention of human beings to figure out where they're paying attention, and then I spend the rest of my time trying to make a sign that's gonna make them stop and buy my lemonade.
And rule number 10, the last one before a very special bonus clip, is don't go to college.
Would you borrow money?
Well, I borrow money now because there's no interest on it.
Huh?
Money's great right now. The problem is it's the same old game, right? Which is, it's the same thing around the lottery. It's the same thing about all these things. It's tough for us, and I'm sure you deal with this.
Yeah.
I struggle with giving advice because I need more context. If you're an idiot, you shouldn't borrow money, because you're gonna go way worse. You know, like.
Well, what's the difference? You're gonna be broke either way. You're an idiot. Why not borrow the money?
So look, it depends on how you borrow money. Here, let me give you a real good idiot play. Student loans.
Yeah.
That's the most idiot.
Yeah.
Because that you can't get out of.
That's one of my questions. Okay,
Go ahead.
college.
Go ahead.
College.
Hate it.
Hate it, right?
For entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
If you need.
How much money will you make this year?
I will make
What are you gonna pay taxes on? What number will you pay taxes on?
probably 17.
Yeah. Okay. 17 million, right? He's gonna make 17 million. Is your best year? It's gonna be your best year?
Yes.
So, and he's telling you don't go to college. Did you finish?
Yes, but I went to Mount Ida College.
Yeah, I went to McNeese State University.
This is how.
If you give them some money,
by the way, this is how I got. This is how
alumni.
I got to Mount Ida College. I got a postcard in the mail in March of my senior year of high school, and my mom finally woke up and realized I had, like, she didn't know the process.
Yeah.
She was an immigrant, and she's like, "You're going to college," and I'm like, "No, Mom, I didn't. I didn't apply for anything." She's like, "You're going to college." I'm like, "Crap, all right." And then a postcard came.
Yeah.
I filled it out, and that's how I went to Mount Ida College.
Yeah. What'd you study there?
Madden '94.
Now I've got a special bonus clip from Gary on how to be empathetic that I think you're gonna enjoy. But before that, it's time for the question of the day. I wanna know, where do you need to stop doubting yourself? Let me know down in the comments below. And if you made it this far in the video and you promise, you commit to take action, Believe Nation, we don't just watch videos, we do something about it. If that's you, I wanna celebrate you. Give me a hashtag Believe down in the comments as well.
So what's the secret of making people engage with your content? I mean, it's just
Empathy.
smarts, empathy, okay.
Empathy is the secret. I believe I sit at where I am in the lexicon, which is, I think, a winning player in today's new environment, because I'm empathetic to my audience. I put out content that brings them value, not makes me feel good about myself. Evan, thank you so much for having a couple seconds and being able to tell the Believe Nation a little bit about Empathy Wines. It means a lot to me that you would take this valuable real estate and time on your channel to give me some love. It means a lot. It's just good karma points, and so you're awesome. Thank you. Believe Nation, if you're into wine at all, go to empathywines.com. My whole career's work was poured into producing a wine that rivaled $40 to $60 wine for 20 bucks a bottle. I'm just super excited about this subscription-based wine business. You can order 3, 6, or or 12 bottles in subscription form, rosé, white, red. If you search on Instagram or Twitter, you will be blown away. People are literally like, I don't even like Gary Vee, but the wine's good. Super proud of the effort. Thanks, Evan, for the time. Wishing you guys all happy and healthy.
If you want 10 more awesome rules from Gary Vee, check out the video right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.
In my team, there's people that come into I've seen it in the thousands of employees I've had, which is the closer they are to the sun, the harder they work.